Most people have had thoughts about ethics, but exactly what is it? In this video, I'll try to characterize the subject as it's generally understood in philosophy. As a first pass, consider questions like, what should I do? What should be done? What should happen? These are in some sense the central questions of ethical thought. And the operative word is should. Should indicates that the question is normative rather than descriptive. Now, a descriptive statement is about the way the world supposedly is. Take a statement like, the earth is flat. Such statements describe, not necessarily accurately, situations, events, and so on. Contrast this with a normative statement. No one should buy Justin Bieber albums. The normative statement is not about the way the world is. It's not that I'm confused about record sales. The statement is about the way the world should be, or ought to be. It prescribes rather than describing. A normative statement doesn't have to use words like should. Someone could just say, it's better not to listen to Justin Bieber, which grammatically looks descriptive, but it has a normative meaning. Maybe it can't be explained any further without simply reusing words like should, ought, good, better, and a few others. But it seems to be a distinction we can all understand if we attend to it. Now, take another look at the normative statement I came up with. No one should buy Justin Bieber albums. That's clearly normative, but is it a moral issue? Probably not. I might think no one should listen to Bieber, but if you do, I don't think you're a bad person. So, there are normative issues other than moral ones, and there are different kinds of norms, answers to normative questions. There are norms of taste, norms of etiquette, legal norms, metalegal norms, and others. And then there are moral norms, the kind in which we're interested. What distinguishes them from other kinds of norms? There are detailed ways of trying to answer that question, but for now it should suffice to point out a few distinguishing features. For one, moral judgment seems to imply, maybe require, a different, stronger kind of reaction than other normative judgments. If you listen to Justin Bieber, I think you have bad taste, but just for that, I wouldn't shun you, take steps against you, try to imprison you, or anything like that. But if someone violates what we take to be moral norms, we do often take those steps. Maybe we should be expected to. Second, moral norms seem to have, by definition, a certain supremacy over other kinds of norms. Sometimes you adjust other norms to comport with your moral norms, but not vice versa. So, for example, centuries ago, people struggled with the conclusion that slavery was immoral because it was legally protected. But once you do come to that conclusion, you try to change the law. If someone said, I'm firmly convinced that slavery is immoral, but it's the law, so morality should be changed, that person is confused. Or suppose you thought something was tasteful or beautiful or entertaining, but it was immoral, like some kind of art project that involves torturing animals or something. What's the ultimate answer to the question, should I do it? No, right? If someone thought they should still do it, for art or whatever, then they didn't really understand that it's morally wrong. So, ethics is the study of norms of this type. That's still a fairly broad field, and it's common to divide ethical thought into three subcategories: normative ethics, applied ethics, and meta-ethics. Normative ethics asks what makes anything right or wrong, and in so doing attempts to provide a general guide to moral behavior. Applied ethics, on the other hand, concerns specific ethical dilemmas and controversies. Questions like, when, if ever, is it permissible to have an abortion? Or, is there anything morally wrong with homosexuality? Applied ethics also includes the study of medical ethics, professional ethics, and environmental ethics, among other subfields. Finally, meta-ethics, perhaps the most abstract of the three, concerns questions about moral language and moral cognition. Questions like, how do words like good and right function? Or, what makes it possible for humans to make moral judgments? So in conclusion, if you understand these three things, the distinction between normative and descriptive subject matter, the various kinds of norms and the status of moral norms among them, and the three subfields of ethics, then you should have a pretty good understanding of what ethical philosophy is all about.